Just call me Swanny.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle once again. It is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands, around the world on the iHeart radio application. Great to be back with you, and looky what we have here. Swanny in the palatial studios, Greystone Boulevard, getting the J-O-B, say it with me, D-O-N-E, the job done. My man Rob Sanders, host of The Rundown, was hanging out with us here just a little bit ago, or I was hanging out with him just a little bit ago, and happy to be back with you here today. Tomorrow and for the next couple of weeks, I'll be doing some things to get navigating the show back in studio at home. That's all good, but I'm happy to be here with you again doing the show this afternoon. 803-978-1832. It just rolls off of the tongue. You want to call in and be a part of the program live, you can do that today. 803-978-1832. Grant me a little leeway, if you will. As the American Dream Dusty Rose said, if you will, grant me a little leeway as I get the ensemble back together, the minutia of working the board, punching up the buttons, keeping it rocking and rolling, an eye on the prize and an eye on the time as my man Rob Sanders ventures back in to grab his cellular device. Indeed, of fantastic nature. Look at that. That's the fancy one, Rob. You can't hide money. That's the big boy. What do you got? What do you got there? Rob Sanders, host of The Rundown, joins us here today.
Yeah, it's an iPhone device.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
It's got the 3 cameras on the back, though.
I know, right? Isn't that cool?
You can't hide money, Rob.
Oh, come on now. Stop with all of that. Hey, it's good to have you back in studio, sir.
Yeah. What are these buttons for? They're all lit up. What do they do?
Well, you and I are just big kids. We want to press all of them.
Right? I'm like, man, yeah, it's good to be back there, Rob. Appreciate you, buddy. And hey, thanks for all the lead-ins to the program. You know, Rob always plays the Stop Looking at Me Swan drop, which has become a fan favorite for listeners of the show that shakes the Southland. So you want to get your messages in, you can. My man Rob Sanders, again, is on Twitter at Rob Sounds Good. 803-450-0086. That is the text line. That is the phone line. Nick is in the penalty box. He shared the show today. And boy, Nick and all you Clemson Tiger fans, woo, how much does it sting heading into the 5th game of the season? Not quite to the halfway point, but you're going into a bye week after this weekend's matchup against Boston College in a situation that you haven't been in a long, long time, going back to 2014. That 2014 Clemson Tiger team, you may recall, with Cole Stout and Deshaun Watson, that group went into Athens, Georgia, and got beat. Then went on the road to Tallahassee, Florida in week 3 and got beat. Since that time, you haven't sniffed this type of record this early in the season, and it just feels weird. And I think the other thing that's compounded this issue for so many Clemson Tiger fans is the fact that the expectation as we ventured into 2021, coming off of the heels of a weird year with COVID-19 being a part of our everyday occurrence with testing and all of that went into a season ago for your Clemson Tigers, I think everybody thought it's going to be normal. It's going to be the same old same. Well, if it's normal as in you are now normal. You are now the norm in college football, which is not one of the undefeated teams, which is not one of the one-loss teams. You are now middle of the pack. Now, does it have to stay that way? Absolutely not. And again, we've got some of Dabo Swanny coming up for you here on the program in just a little bit from earlier today. Obviously, the sentiment in Clemson is that there's a lot of meat on that bone when it comes down to the schedule, when it comes down to what the Clemson Tigers should, could, and might be able to do this season if they turn things around. I was talking with Rob before the show on his program, The Rundown. You can listen to it from 3 until 4 o'clock each and every afternoon here on Fox Sports Radio 1400. And the thing that I took away from the conversations with Rob and thinking about this Boston College game and the spread is that we have learned through the years, right, that Vegas just knows. They know something. Vegas is right more often than they are wrong. If they weren't, they wouldn't be in business. You wouldn't know anything about it if Vegas was wrong more often than they were right. But when we look to the spread in this ball game being larger than any amount of points Clemson has scored during the regular season against a Power 5 opponent, it makes you believe, it gives you a sense of hope that this Clemson Tiger football team will indeed go out and play high-quality football against a Power 5 opponent for the first time this season. I mean, because that's what that number tells me. Vegas believes in Clemson more than a lot of you currently believe in Clemson. Callie, however, she's feeling the Tigers flow. She says, we're going to be okay, people. And it starts this week. Callie, I think a lot of Clemson Tiger fans certainly hope so. I would be interested to see what this spread would look like if Phil Jerkovic were playing for Boston College. That would have been a little bit more intriguing. Is it a 7-point game? What's he worth to the Eagles? Callie's calling it now, 27-10 Tigers. She's feeling good about the Clemson defense still. And I've got to imagine that those guys at this point, those defenders, are a little bit frustrated. And this is where I think you have to worry about what we might label as infighting. It's part of the reason that you try to build a culture that is supportive of one another. It's the reason that you try to build a culture that lifts each other up. Because the truth is for Clemson Tiger fans, this is unusual. But for every single player on that roster, this is unusual. I mean, all of these guys have been a part of success, minus the young guys who are true freshmen this year, who this is their first taste of college football. Everybody else has been in the college football playoff every season they've been there. Everybody else has won an ACC championship every season they've been there. They got rings on their fingers. They're lucky they don't have rings on their toes at this point, given the number of rings that they've picked up during their time in Tigertown. But the truth of the matter is that at some point, no matter how much we've taught one another to support one another, these are still 18 to 22-year-old, maybe 23-year-old young men. And frustration will set in, I think, at some point for this defense if they continue to play at a high level but have to be on the field for 2/3 of the contest like they were this past Saturday up in Raleigh-Durham. And it's not something that's I necessarily think is avoidable. I don't think it's avoidable. The fact of the matter is, I think it's something that is more likely to happen than not, given the fact that this group has had to carry the load, not just for one weekend at Raleigh, not just for a second weekend in Death Valley against Georgia Tech, but for 3 consecutive games, this offense has had to be carried by Clemson's defense. Like, the defense is the thing that gave you a chance against Georgia. The defense is the thing that helped you, allowed you to beat Georgia Tech. The defense is what kept you in the game against NC State, and probably some fortuitous kicking issues for the Wolfpack. And that's the other thing about that NC State matchup, looking back on it now, after having watched Clemson's offensive possessions again, and just thinking about the final score that was on the board. Yes, NC State missed a field goal late that gave Clemson a glimmer of hope as the time ran off of the clock. But before that, Dunn had missed 2 other field goals in the game. Or we're not even talking about overtime. I mean, if this kid's making field goals, it's not even close. So again, I think for Clemson Tiger faithful, at this point, the concern has to be not just about when is the offense or if the offense is going to click, but how long can the defensive players mentally sustain the focus necessary to continue to carry the load without what I would label as boatloads of frustration. These are still young men. And I know they care about each other. I know they support each other. But everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a point where you just get so frustrated that you let your emotions show through. And obviously now with Clemson being without Tyler Davis and Brian Brzee in the middle, you begin to think about the potential breakdowns, if you will, that could come from that aspect of this team, and moving even some guys up like Peyton Page, who I think coming in, I think everybody was really excited about Page out of the Dudley High School area up in Greensboro. I think everybody was pumped up to see what he could be. I mean, when you start to frame some of these guys up, you know, I remember what Dexter Lawrence looked like as a recruit. I remember what Tyler Davis looked like as a recruit. Peyton Page has that same kind of build, just in terms of how thick he is up top. I mean, he's the kind of kid that it's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine how quick and agile somebody can be with that. I don't even know if the right word is girth. He's just a large individual, especially in his shoulder area. Like most people, you go up and you put your hand on their shoulder, and your hand's literally, covering their shoulder. You put your hand on a guy like Peyton Page's shoulder, your hand's just kind of sitting on his arm, just kind of sitting in the middle. I mean, he's thick where you want players to be thick on the interior of that defensive line, and he'll get some opportunities now because of these issues up front. And if the defense begins to falter and the offense is struggling, man alive, I don't know. It might be what's the old saying, fighting like cats and dogs? I mean, that might be the operative term, and it might just be fighting like cats and cats. It might just be the Clemson Tigers fighting amongst themselves with frustration. 803-450-0086 text line. If you want to call us, we're live in the studio today, 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. Bible Belt Beauty says, "Stop looking at me, Swan." I'd play it. Oh, I got it. Don't worry. Your boy, I dug it up.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Yeah, my man Rob Sanders. I found it on the board. I might not have been in studio in 18 months. I was here one day. Almost 20 months as I've been in studio. But I can still navigate my way around here. I know what's going on. I know what's happening, Captain. I'll lead the way. Again, if you've never been a part of the program, please continue to share the show. Help us continue to grow. We've got lots of messages to get to today from many of the listeners who have texted us, who have called us and left us messages. We'll get to all of those here on the program for you this afternoon. And if I missed you, if you put something out there and I didn't get to you, please hit us up let me know, and I'll dive back into the archives. I'm not a guy that's scared of going into the archives and finding a comment, a conversation, anything that brings you to the show. It's the People Show here on a Tuesday afternoon. 803-450-0086. Now, I'll pose a question for you. Our QOTD question of the day. Is Clemson the most disappointing team in college football this season? Are they the single most disappointing team in college football this season? I mean, to me, given the expectations, locally, it's easy to put them in that category. But I think nationally, at this point, if you pose this question in Eugene, Oregon, if you pose this question in Los Angeles, California, Austin, Texas, maybe the only place that you could pose this question and not hear the name Clemson might be like if you went to Lincoln, Nebraska. They might say, well, we are, and then Clemson. But that's the truth of the matter at this point. Again, what we did know coming into the season and what many people believed was that A, Georgia was going to be the toughest game you were going to have to play, and B, the biggest challenge to Clemson in the conference might be NC State. Well, now, given the circumstances that we've dealt with, watching this unfold, A, correct, B, looks to be correct, and if you want to get into the ACC championship game at this point, folks, I got to tell you, there's a lot that has to take place. That is our Kaufman's fan poll question as well over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Now, that's not our QOTD. The question of the day is Clemson the most disappointing team in college football this season? Our Kaufman's fan poll over on our website, will Clemson play in the ACC championship game? 72% chiming in no. Clemson will not play in the ACC championship game. Now, do they have a chance? Absolutely. Much like they had a chance to get into the college football playoff, in my estimation, up until Saturday's loss to NC State, they absolutely have a chance to get into the ACC championship. And quite frankly, at this point, it would still hinge solely on what happens with the Wolfpack. Clemson, otherwise, has to go out and take care of business against every opponent on their schedule. There's no other leeway. There's no other gap, whatever you want to call it, for Clemson in terms of mistakes, because I can't imagine that you're going to have either A, NC State lose more than 2 games, or B, have anybody that's able to beat Clemson additionally lose more than 2 games. So at this point, from Clemson's standpoint, you got to win out. You got to be perfect. The fortunate thing for the Tigers is that NC State, I believe, is not a team that it is impossible for them to lose 2 games. They could easily drop 2 games. They've got matchups forthcoming against Miami, Louisville, Wake Forest, and at the back end, North Carolina. The key now for Clemson with an ACC championship game is just win out. And if North Carolina State holds up their end of the deal and doesn't lose 2 games, they earned it. They earned it. But Clemson still has a chance to get to the ACC championship game, albeit a slim one. But NC State's road is really tough. Stay with us.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Sharp Road at Green Tree Drive. Also an accident on Boiling Springs at Platte Springs. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line number is 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Ensure Max Protein. Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW.
Let's get it started.
The biggest stars from all genres of music share one stage.
Billie Eilish,
Cheap Trick, Coldplay, Darius Rucker,
Dua Lipa,
J. Cole,
Journey,
Khalid,
Lil Baby,
Nelly, Sam Hunt, Weezer,
with special guests,
Florida Georgia Line, Walker Hayes.
performances you've never seen before and will never see again.
the 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Watch this Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. on Columbia's CW.
The Gamecocks hung 69 on the scoreboard the last time Troy visited Williams-Brice. Could this Saturday's game be just what the doctor ordered for Carolina's struggling offense? Hey, it's Christopher Thompson. Get ready for Saturday's Tangle with the Trojans, our best Gamecock coverage on 103.5 FM and 560 AM. WVOC starts at 12:30 that afternoon before Carolina faces Troy at 3:30 on the SEC Network. The best Gamecock coverage. Game days on WVOC.
Lawton Swan here. And I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Movement is always driving us forward, whether it's on the track, the court, or on the field. Every move we make and every mile marker we pass leads us to find out just how far we can go. Goodyear, more driven.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird, too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
In the building, the show that shakes the Southland. Yep, for at least a day. Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan with you, 803-978-1832. Get in. Give us your thoughts on Clemson. I mean, am I wrong about the opportunity still there? I don't think that changes. You already see Clemson being a 15-point favorite against Boston College this weekend. The belief is still out there that this team's going to turn it on at some point. Now, if they were to struggle this weekend and head into a bye week before back-to-back road games at Syracuse and at Pitt, maybe that narrative changes. maybe people start feeling a little bit differently about your Tigers, but given the line in Vegas today, I don't think there's any question that the folks in Vegas still think Clemson's got a lot of gas in the tank offensively. Again, 803-978-1832. But NC State's the team at this point that you got to keep your eyeballs on if you expect to play in Charlotte in December. Now, if you're watching the show, give me a little message here, because I was trying to stream it just to check the audio, and I noticed that for whatever reason, it didn't seem to be, running as smoothly as it typically does. I'm not showing any internet issues on my end, but I tried to stream it on Twitter at the beginning of the show and just a few minutes ago, and I kept getting a buffer. So let me know, are we buffering? Are you getting a buffer? Is that just me? Or are we all just buffering together? Again, as far as North Carolina State goes, they've got matchups remaining of significance in the Atlantic Coast Conference at Boston College, at Miami, versus Louisville, at Florida State, at Wake Forest, versus Syracuse, and versus North Carolina. I mean, I'm no Einsteiner, but I don't think Clemson played very good football this past weekend, and they nearly found a way to beat NC State. And Clemson played what I would label as pretty much terrible football offensively. One of the more putrid offensive performances we've seen. And certainly these first four games, including the matchup against NC State, nothing ever has felt right. Now, there's also this evaluation that you might give Clemson, and I don't know that you'd necessarily be wrong in running with this assessment. But I would say it is possible. It is possible that your Clemson Tigers that when it comes down to this season and when you look back on it, it is possible that a guy like DJ Uiagalelei and some of the players that they've got on the roster were just overrated. I mean, I think it's too early to diagnose that at this point. I did notice, and I had heard that DJ's family was going through some issues at home. I saw that his father tweeted that he was happily single. I don't recall that being a thing for DJ a year ago. I don't recall an issue surrounding his parents being something that I would even talk about and bring up until his dad tweets that out. And I start thinking, well, is there more to what's going on with DJ than simply college football and preparation and being the guy at one of the top programs, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, I was fortunate enough that I never had to go. My parents did not go through a divorce when I was growing up. Now, my mother did pass away when I was 16, so I was young. But I can't imagine, because I could try, right? I mean, that's the thing. People go, oh, well, suck it up, buttercup, get through it. But, dude, if you haven't lived through it, it's very difficult to try to imagine what those emotions are like, let alone recognize that each of us as human beings handle things differently. No two people handle the same situation the same way. And again, I'm not telling you that you couldn't find cases where maybe a kid's parents have gone through a divorce or a separation or a split up or whatever, and the kid's just been spectacular on the gridiron, played his best football. You know, when that kid played his best football when his parents were getting divorced, Bob. I mean, maybe. But when you see that and you think about the emotions that probably come along with that, And maybe I'm wrong. I had heard, and this is what I heard. Now, I didn't reach out to Big Dave. I got his number, but I didn't reach out to him. But I had heard that DJ's parents were going through a divorce or getting separated or whatever's going on. And you hear those things and you go, oh, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, really, who knows what's happening? But then I see that tweet that Big Dave put out, and I mean, that made me like, listen, I'm a married man. I get the sneaky feeling if I put out a picture of myself on social media talking about how I'm happily single, that's not going over great on the home front. That's probably not what my kid's mom wants me to put out there. You know what I'm saying? My wife. So that to me just kind of verified that maybe there's a little bit more that DJ's dealing with. And again, maybe he's also a miss. Maybe the analyst got him wrong. Maybe his big arm was more suited to be a baseball pitcher. An incredibly talented baseball pitcher. I think there's desire, however, to go play collegiately in football because if you can't make it to the majors, or if you have to ride the bus like MJ in the minors and work your way up, there's something to be said for going out there and being the face of a program, and a program as highly thought of as Clemson's. Is DJ Uiagalelei a bust? I don't know. Is DJ dealing with a lot of stuff off the field? Possibly. I'm not willing to write that check yet and say what he is or he isn't, but I'm certainly keeping a keen eye on the evaluation. Stay with us for more of the show that shakes the Southland.
Imagine a disease that can hurt any part of your body, like your joints, heart, kidneys. Your immune system becomes so hyperactive that it attacks instead of protects. That's lupus. You don't look sick, so no one knows you feel awful. You also may know someone who has it. Join us for Lupus Research Alliance's virtual Many One Can. Walk with us to cure lupus, October 2nd at noon. No one can cure it alone, but many one can. Visit walk.lupusresearch.org to register now.
Guys, now there's no excuse. Peak Performance for Men has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction. The question is, what are you waiting for? Live the life you want today with a free consultation. No medication, no pumps, no needles, no pain, no surgery, and absolutely no downtime. Just non-invasive acoustic wave therapy that will have you back to your natural form. That's right. Now for a limited time, a free consultation. There is no risk. Fix it for good with one phone call. Call the Columbia office today at 803-302-8181 or find them at peakperformanceformen.com. Why wait? Enjoy your life to the fullest. Peak can make the difference. Call 803-302-8181 and get your free consultation now. That's 803-302-8181. Peak Performance for Men.
It's fall, y'all. Stay cool with this Wilson'sAir.com weather update.
Light winds, absolutely beautiful. A touch above average when it comes to temperature, but overall, a gorgeous, gorgeous day. For ABC Columbia, Channel 25, I'm Tyler Ryan.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Compassion International has a network of over 300 church partners in Haiti, poised to bring critical relief to those suffering because of the recent earthquake. Make your $40 one-time gift now by texting the keyword radio to 97646.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay. Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not on my watch. Our military service members say.
as they volunteer to serve. Not on my watch, they say, as they leave their families behind to keep the rest of ours safe. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve, the therapists they need to walk again, the treatment they need to talk again, the lifetime of day-to-day help they need to live full and independent lives. When there's no more government funding, or a nursing home seems like the only option, or everyone says there's no hope for recovery, we won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Find out how you can do your part at findwwp.org.
Sports Radio. Fox Attitude. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400.
With you, I don't know if the music hits harder for you guys now than it does on a regular day. That music is banging for me in my headphones. I mean, absolutely banging. Rocking and rolling along. Clemson Sports Talk. We're in studio. You can call. I mean, if you're watching, you see the new backdrop. You see the backdrop, the Fox Sports Radio 1400 backdrop. Give us a call, 803-978-1832. Dabo Swanny today met with the media. Here's a little bit of what Coach had to say about the Boston College Eagles who venture into town this Saturday.
It was one of my favorite weeks, homecoming, and it's always a great time on campus. And obviously last year missed out on a lot of the traditions that we have. So exciting that they'll be building the floats and Tiger-Rama and all those things that people really enjoy about homecoming here at Clemson, and also the 81 team coming back. So going to be a fun week. Night game in the Valley. That's always an exciting time. We'll have a great crowd, and looking forward to that. BC is another big challenge for us as we keep moving forward here. They're honestly a lot like NC State, one of the more experienced teams out there, a very, very veteran group on both sides of the ball, 17 starters coming back. I think they had 6 or 7 all-ACC guys in that group, so a lot of experience. They're 4-0. They're very confident, and they're playing really good football. They're executing very well, and again, I think that's a reflection of the experience and the veteran players that they have. Defensively, very experienced group. They've scored a couple times already this year. Really good on third down and stingy on third down. They know their scheme well. They execute their scheme well. They fly to the ball. Again, a lot like the bunch we just played. And, so a really tough challenge there. Offensively, got 9 starters back, got every offensive lineman back. I think a couple of them are All-American candidates. That's where it starts for them. A very physical bunch, well-coached, downhill group. And, they do a great job with their scheme and really, scheming you up and playing to their strengths.
And that, my friends, is probably the biggest concern about taking on this Boston College Eagle team this weekend from the standpoint of Clemson's offense, is simply the fact that Jeff Hafley, who was at Ohio State, is an unbelievable defensive mind. And I've said to you probably since we interviewed him at the ACC kickoff, maybe even before then, I've got so much respect for who he is as a coach and the way that he's embraced this program and re-energized this program. And I do not think he'll be there long. I'm sure all our Boston College fans tuning into the show today don't like that. But I do believe that is a part of the success they're seeing now is just how good he is. And I don't think he'll be there all that long. Dabo Swinney was asked about Jeff Hafley and his scheme. Here's what Coach Swinney had to say on that front.
They're simple in what they do. They just believe in it, and they're really good at it. You know, I mean, they got a scheme, they believe in it, and they execute it very, very well. They're great fundamentally, do a great job with their eyes. They understand where their stress points are, and again, just very well coached. And again, we've been against them several times, going back to Ohio State, but it's what they do, and the guys understand all the nuances of it.
So there you go, Dabo Swinney talking about Coach Jeff Hafley and that Boston College defense. And again, the defensive side of the football for BC is the one that will give them the chance to stick around in this game or allow Clemson to kind of get the momentum rolling that they've been wanting to get moving, and they just haven't. And so from that standpoint, I've talked about the complexity of Clemson's offense and trying to get the ball more in space, using the horizontal width of the field to be more successful. And Dabo Swinney was asked about DJ Uiagalelei and how he was going to attempt to get him to spread the football around more.
It's not as simple as that. But we definitely want to get the ball to our playmakers, but the ball's going to go where it's designed to go, and what they give you. They take a lot of things away, but we got to do a better job in every area.
Now, one of those guys that people are expected to see for the first time this season, Phil Maffa. Maffa, the freshman running back who came in. I call him the Fresh Prince, Will and Phil. You pick up what I'm putting down. This is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Yeah, Will and Phil. Will Shipley, Phil Maffa. Dabo Swinney was asked about whether or not or how they would lean on Kobe Pace and potentially if Phil Maffa would be a factor in this ball game for Clemson on Saturday.
Take a significant. Oh no, Maffa can play. We love Maffa. We just know there's only so many touches, and that's kind of where we were. We were going to try to hold him, but we got to cut him loose and rock and roll. We started out our number running backs 5. We try to always have 5 on scholarship here, and we had 6 to start the season. Now we got 4. But we got more than most people. We got 4 guys, and so kind of like ET, it's an opportunity for Mikey Dukes, who's one of the best athletes on this team, but just a guy that's never really he's just a sophomore, but he hasn't really taken the step yet, just where he's detailed and consistent day in and day out at all the little things. That's really kind of what's held him back. And that's why he's kind of been where he is now, athletically, physically. He's gifted, but he's maybe this is an opportunity that he's going to step up and take advantage of. So because he's going to get a chance. So we'll see. And then obviously Rencher is a steady guy that we trust. But Maffa's a great young talent. Again, we were hoping that we could create a little separation there, but probably won't be the case.
Dabo Swinney there talking about the running backs. We'll hit a quick break. We'll come back with more from Coach Swinney's press conference today, right after this.
It's time to get your home insanely clean. Listen, Zero Res cleans like no other. No harsh chemicals and no sticky, soapy residue is left behind. And right now, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $119. Plus, when you mention this station, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of 2 seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Even better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
Way back when, Colombia was a vast dining desert, a wasteland for fast, fresh, authentic Southwestern food. Weren't nothing bundled up nice and warm in a tortilla. Colombia needed Diablos. Southwestern the way you want it. The real deal, with no shortcuts in quality and served up as fast and fresh as you want it. Diablo Southwest Grill. Sunset Boulevard in Lexington. DiabloSouthwestGrill.com.
Are you ready to see every Fixer Upper episode ever? Now you can on Discovery Plus. Stream every demo and every design from the show that started it all. Plus, design and remodeling pros Chip and Joe are back with fresh ideas for turning outdated homes into innovative living spaces. In the new series, Fixer Upper Welcome Home. New challenges, stunning home transformations, and every episode from the beginning. Get it all for just $4.99. The streaming home of Fixer Upper and so much more, exclusively with Discovery Plus. Start your free trial today.
Panera believes in saying yes. Yes to clean, fresh ingredients. Yes to the new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread topped with rich mozzarella. Yes to delicious mac and cheese. Yes to putting it on a sandwich, creating the grilled mac and cheese sandwich. And yes to impromptu road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get $1 delivery when you order on our app. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
iHeart playlists are how you create a mood. Hopefully a good one. Whether it's a morning workout or late night chill, it's totally free to create and edit unlimited playlists on the free iHeart app. Just name your playlist, search the song you want, and add it. Boom, you're in. So go ahead, add Foo Fighters to your workout playlist, Imagine Dragons to your traffic playlist, or go nuts and make a Green Day greatest hits playlist. You can even add songs while listening to live radio. Create free playlists. Only on the free iHeart app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Sharing has never meant as much as it does now. We share the things we love most in life for the world to see. But what if we could actually do more with our sharing than just collect likes? What if this sharing could be used to make a difference? Now there's a place where we can put all that sharing to good use. The National MS Society is asking people to make a difference and share what they love with someone else who loves it too. Whether it's surfing, dancing, or whatever is important to you, we've created a place that'll help you get your experience out to the world. If you have a story, share it. If you have a solution, share that too. Join us at wearestrongerthanms.org, because together, we are stronger.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeart Radio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeart Radio station.
I'll be honest with you, it's pretty hilarious how loud that music is for me here today. Coming up on the program in just a little bit, our buddy Mike Yuva joins us. We'll peek over the fence into the backyard of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Easiest way to get there, tinyurl.com/Clemson Sports TV, or just go over to YouTube and search for Clemson Sports Talk. You'll find us. Hit that subscribe. We're looking to get to 1,000 subscribers before Game 6 of the college football season. Running out of time. I think we can make it to 700 though. That would be great. Like if we make it to 1,000 by the end of the year, I'll be excited. I wanted to get to 1,000 by the end of Game 6. That would take you, however, heading over and subscribing today. Go ahead and hit that subscribe on our YouTube channel. 803-978-1832. That's right. I am live in the studio if you want to give us a call. I know our listeners are like, what? Give you a call? Not leave you a message? No. Give us a call. 803-978-1832. And if everything gets squared away on the home front the way I'm hoping it will, we'll be taking a lot more calls from you in the very near future at home. So, again, Dabo Swinney's press conference earlier today with the media. Obviously, it's a frustrating year for Coach Swanny, a frustrating year for the Clemson Tigers, as they are currently sitting at 2-2. heading into this key game. Clemson can afford 0 slip-ups the rest of the way. I went through NC State's schedule for you a little bit earlier. At this point, that's the team to watch. And if you get beat in any other game in conference, I don't think it's going to matter who else you're watching. Like, if you want to play in the ACC Championship, there are 2 teams you need to concern yourself with at this point. Clemson winning out and whatever NC State's doing. That's the fact of the matter. 803-450-0086, text line, phone line. Be a part of the program each and every afternoon. And I'll tell you what we'll do. Since we do have a caller on the line, let's punch them up and have some fun. Caller, welcome in. What's going on?
Good afternoon, Swanny.
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Man, it's a long time. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Oh, don't you try it, man. You done moved back up into the world now since you're in the studio. That's
There
a
we
whole
go.
lot better. The question. I want you to give your honest opinion after I make my statement or a couple comments. Number one, I think some people fail to realize that Oklahoma, Miami, Florida State, Notre Dame, Alabama, at some point in time, their programs went down. They had a nice run for decades, and they went down. A lot of it pertained to recruiting, money, resources, which probably could be the same.
Yeah.
They gradually came back up. So Clemson is having its fall right now. But I think a lot of it has to do with what has been recruited in the past. And I'll give you a running back, for example. I mean, you didn't know Dixon was going to leave. You didn't know Shipley was going to get hurt. But from reading the Clemson Insider, they were saying we got a lot of debt.
Say that last part. They were saying what? We got
a lot of debt.
Depth.
Knee-deep in running backs.
Gotcha.
But if you look at it, and I hate to knock these young fellas, but they did enough to get a scholarship, but that is not what Clemson needs. And like I indicated numerous times before this COVID thing, they need a horse in the backfield. I mean, a true horse like a Derrick Henry or a Herschel or Bo Jackson, like those backs Alabama get and Ohio State get and folks like that. Clemson not getting any folks like that. And I don't know if Martha is going to pan out or not, but that's what they need along with some better recruits. And sometimes those recruits are overrated. Thank you, sir.
That's a great call. Good point. Yeah, I think when Ches Malusi left, by the way, if you want to get in, 803-978-1832. When Ches Malusi left, I felt a void because I thought Malusi had a chance to be the starter. And if you look at it from that standpoint, and given the fact that the season started the way it did for Lynn J. Dixon, I don't know any reason why you wouldn't believe that Malusi would have been the starter. Clemson not only lost Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, but they lost, in my opinion, the next running back. The next guy. And so that's significant because as much as I like Lynn J. Dixon to me is like a third down back, right? He's a scat back, catch the ball in the backfield, get in the open space. I don't know that Lynn J. Dixon, and I think the previous caller pointed it out. I think, was that Mac? Mac, was that you? I think it was Mac. Nonetheless, it's kind of funny through the years. Haven't even taken a call in 20 months, but some of the names and voices I can recognize still. Like family calling. Who's on the phone? Uncle Roy. Okay. But I do think that when we talk about these players that have left the program, that's where part of this problem is created. And I know that people want to get into Dabo Swinney's unwillingness to go into the transfer portal, and he still seems, after this, very standoffish on the portal. I just kind of look at it like this is part of a byproduct, you know? You have a frustrated upperclassman that decides to jump into the portal the week before your talented freshman gets injured and is out for 3 to 4 weeks. That's the way you call it, Murphy's Law. That's the way it happens. And I don't think there's any unportaling either. Like, I don't think Dabo Swinney's interested in you coming out of the portal, Lynn J., other than to land somewhere else. I know Clemson Tiger fans would say, no, let's portal him back. Can we, hey, Scotty, beam him back up. Portal him back in. But there is something to be said about that large running back. Derrick Henry, 6'3", 240 pounds maybe. Phil Maffa, 6'1", 225, 230. Still not as tall in stature, however, as a guy like Derrick Henry. But we'll see what the freshman can do this weekend. You'll get a good look at him. Maybe it's a chance for him to break out. Maybe it's a good thing for Clemson. We'll hit a break. Hour 2, Mike Yuva joins the program right after this.
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Sharp Road at Green Tree Drive. Also an accident.